Listen, I didn't assume that the closing 24 hours could get any crazier than this, but Donald Trump has just made probably the maximum bullish declaration for XRP that has ever been said before inside the records of this coin. Okay, so I'm going to be overlaying this in modern video and a few different pressing news update the country of the United States economic system. And a lot greater, you're going to need to watch to the very end because that is an extremely massive deal. We're speaking approximately trillions of dollars potentially flooding into XRP simply based off of this one statement by myself. Also, H-bar holders have lots to look ahead to with this too. We're going to get into that during only a second. Although I just want to first speak approximately the truth that XRP is up 93% within the closing 24 hours, and inside the final week now, it's almost up 40%, going from 226, according to Coin, all of the manner, as much as 318 in step with Coin, in which it is proper now, today. This has been an exceptional run. But after the news that we just got, I am extremely assured that XRP is definitely going to be touching $4 distinctly quickly. And yeah, a $20 XRP might be a touch bit too conservative, based totally off of this information as properly. So we're going to get into that during only a two. But first, I want to speak approximately what is happening within the markets due to the fact we were given CPI inflation records. And it became lower than expected. What we were given turned into a 3.2 as opposed to a 3.3 inflation range. And this is genuinely extraordinarily bullish. Inflation is getting tapered down, and the inventory market and the crypto markets are reacting hence. Essentially, what we should look ahead to here is lots of things, but number one, it is inflation that's in take a look at. Masses of global liquidity and cash deliver, and property actually making the most of an, without a doubt, massive financial boom come 2025. I'm once again going to mention this. I suppose 2025 goes to be the finest bull run that XRP, H-bar, XLM, XDC, and a few other ISO cryptocurrencies will ever see duration. I do not assume we are going to see this in 2030. Due to the fact that is the global adoption curve for cryptocurrency markets. This is expediting and going so much quicker than anticipated, and yes, it'll be really insane. So you first class, get prepared for what is happening right here. Now, the first factor, the first piece of tremendous news that clearly is going to, for my part, truly bolster XRP's rate in the quick term is the fact that the SEC's lawsuit with Ripple is possibly to be thrown out. And this was stated by none apart from the leader criminal officer at Ripple, following the appeal that was launched from Gary Gensler the day before today. Now, I do need to factor, if we do take a look at this chart right here in the last day, what you could see is following Gary Gensler's freeing this attraction, XRP did cross from about $3.17 right here, all the way right down to about 293. However, because then it has honestly rebounded, which shows fantastic electricity. Despite Gary Gensler manipulating the markets and attacking traders and making our lives extra hard, we're persevering and showing a ton of electricity. Now, the following resistance level for XRP gets into very rapidly, virtually now not out of the water, but it's not going to be a straight shot to 400. Donald Trump's going to be on his way to the office, and you know, there's thinking going on, and we barely reached the street level so that we can get through to our destination. Now, this is extremely bullish information. Thinking about, we were given a number of this has to do without any other than Donald Trump, and the script, unscript, 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 and you know, this has to do without any other than Donald Trump. He has vowed to fire Gary Gensler, and that is exactly why Gary Gensler is resigning the day before Trump is inaugurated. So he cannot get fired, so he could nevertheless get authorities' jobs. Because in case you are fired, properly bet what? You can't get rehired at the government in the United States of America. And so with that being said, we have a number of reasons to thank Donald Trump. There's one unique announcement that Trump just stated that is going to be bigger than whatever else ever seen before. This is the maximum bullish information for all of the US primarily based crypto groups I even have ever visible. So Trump, in his personal phrases, is receptive to the concept of reserve with coins founded in the United States of America. So in different phrases, Trump is definitely, unironically, taking into account the use of US primarily based cryptocurrency tasks for their strategic crypto reserve in the United States authorities. Now, I recognize a lot of you do not recognize the size of this strategic reserve, and I could be going through this primary principle very soon. But first, before we get into that, really, I do need to speak about the reality that there are such a lot of US-based crypto groups, and there may be going to be plenty extra. And so, yes, a whole lot of one-of-a-kind crypto tasks have a lot to benefit from this, but you honestly need to look at the ones which might be innovating and supplying fee to the United States authorities, to the economic institutions, and of course to you, men. And there's only a few cryptocurrencies that do those matters. Number one, the first one that comes to mind is around XRP. I suggest we just had the Ripple chief prison officer and the Ripple CEO have a dinner to discuss commercial enterprise and crypto guidelines with Donald Trump. So Donald Trump, you first rate agree with, can have XRP on the top of his thoughts. But then you also have HBAR, who's setting up massive partnerships with all of the pinnacle organizations in America, including SpaceX, Google, IBM, Boeing, you call it, all of these large names. And so I suppose these crypto projects, which might be US primarily based agencies, have the most to benefit. But it's no longer to say that tasks like XLM and many others might not additionally have plenty to benefit from this, as properly. I assume all of these inside the future might be considerations for this US crypto reserve, which we now recognize that Trump is receptive to. It's no longer simply Bitcoin, men, and we were given to word that Trump simply has XRP, he has Bitcoin, he has Ethereum, he has all of these coins in his very own self-custody wallets. So that is pretty huge. But now I want to get again to that point I mentioned very in brief, the dimensions of those reserves. And so America has a number of exceptional reserves. Number one, it has a crude oil and natural fuel evidence reserve. Now with this, they do have billions of barrels, as you may see proper right here. There's 1,000 million barrels right here. They're at about almost 50 billion barrels of crude oil. Each barrel of oil is really worth approximately 90 US greenbacks. So in précis, that reserve of oil is well worth nearly 4 billion greenbacks, guys. And that is what we are searching at. Almost 4 billion, or 4 trillion greenbacks is this reserve right here. That's a big reserve. Then the United States, additionally of direction, has a gold reserve on top of that, which is really